battle mentioned in this archive entry is from Star Wars Legends and is not present in the current Disney canon. Following the Battle of Geonosis, Separatist forces scattered across the galaxy, with Republic forces keeping a close eye on where these Separatist units ended up. One of the interesting locations was the junkyard world of Raxus Prime. Taking note of the odd presence of the Separatist forces there and being concerned, as Raxus is home to many ancient technologies and works of art buried within the piles of junk, the Republic dispatched 2 Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, along with a division of clone troopers to investigate the situation and remove the Separatists if need be. On top of the single division of clone troopers dispatched to partake in the battle, the Republic force also included 2 Acclamator-class assault ships, one of which being the Republic assault ship, the Kandasari. Republic forces approached the planet, however, the 2 Acclamator-class assault ships remained in orbit. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker made their way down to the surface, landing and beginning scouting missions using a pair of 74Z speeder bikes with the intention of trying to decipher what the Separatists are doing there. However, fairly early on in their scouting mission, they encountered a small scouting group of battle droids riding STAPs. Understanding that it was paramount that these battle droids not be allowed to report to Separatist commanders the presence of Republic forces, these battle droids were pursued and ultimately destroyed by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Following this chase, the 2 Jedi were able to approach the Separatist excavation site and realize that it was in fact an excavation site. Understanding that the Republic must take this dig site to understand what the Separatists are doing there, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker called in reinforcements and began making preparations for the landing of a larger Republic force. However, while Republic forces were preparing in orbit to carry out a ground invasion, a pair of TX-130S fighter tanks were deployed to the ground near the 2 Jedi commanders. Using these fighter tanks, they engaged a series of Separatist convoys making their way to the dig site. A total of 3 convoys were inbound at the time. Each of these Separatist convoys consisted of a trio of multi-utility transports, a number of armored assault tanks, and a number of Persuader-class tank droids. After laying an ambush and successfully destroying the first convoy, however, the other 2 scattered in an attempt to flee Republic forces and had to be pursued by the 2 Jedi, who ultimately did manage to destroy all 3 convoys. With the 3 convoys destroyed and Separatist forces now trying to muster a defense, a large Republic force was able to be landed when one of the Acclamator-class assault ships was able to descend into a clearing and deploy its troops. The Republic assault force consisted of a number of all-terrain tactical enforcers, or ATTEs, supported by a number of ATXT experimental walkers. Once landed, the Republic forces began to blast their way through the debris, making their way closer and closer to the Separatist dig site. However, in this process, they encountered a large Separatist force consisting primarily of OG-9 homing spider droids and armored assault tanks. While Republic forces were attempting to blast their way through the Separatist defenders, they were ambushed on both sides by Persuader-class tank droids as well as IG-227 Hellfire-class tank droids. However, eventually Republic forces reached an area where the debris was too large to blast through and they would have to proceed single file. In an effort to keep the Republic strike force as intact as possible, Obi-Wan Kenobi proceeded into the narrow passages in his TX-130S fighter tank in an effort to clear out the Separatist forces there. In these narrows, he encountered a number of OG-9 homing spider droids, as well as Persuader-class tank droids. With these Separatist forces dispatched, Republic forces had now arrived at the Separatist dig site, which happened to be right in time as a second Republic force had landed behind the dig site as the first force was distracting the Separatist defenders. With Republic forces on both sides of the dig site, a 2-pronged assault was carried out. The first group, commanded by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, blasted their way through the debris, entering the dig site, and then immediately destroyed a power generator. This allowed the second Republic force to enter the dig site. With the dig site starting to fall under Republic control and the large excavation cranes significantly damaged, Anakin Skywalker noticed Count Dooku, one of the leaders of the Separatists, fleeing onto a nearby Hardcell-class transport. Realizing this, he attempted to pursue Count Dooku on foot, following him onto the transport before the vessel took off. It's around this time that a Separatist protodeca, a large weapons platform, burst its way through some of the nearby debris, laying waste to the Republic forces that had commandeered the dig site. However, the protodeca was destroyed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, continuing to use his TX-130S. With the dig site now secured, the problem became the disappearance of Anakin Skywalker, who had followed Count Dooku onto his ship. Little did Republic forces know, however, that Anakin Skywalker had been captured aboard the ship by Count Dooku and a bounty hunter, and was being taken to one of the moons of Kashyyyk to be used as an experiment for a new weapon being developed by the Separatists. So ultimately, the Conquest of Raxus Prime was a Republic victory. victory in some sense. They were able to drive Separatist forces from the planet and claim control of the dig site. However, they did not successfully identify what the Separatists were excavating, and they ended up losing Jedi Anakin Skywalker, who at this point is now in Separatist custody. Little did the Jedi know at the time that this incident would mark the beginning of what would become known as the Dark Reaper Crisis, one of the most notable incidents of the early days of the Clone Wars. A war that began with the Battle of Geonosis, and if you'd like to learn more about the Battle of Geonosis itself, I'll leave a link in the upper right-hand corner to the Battle Analysis archive video on that. And if you have any other battles you'd like to see covered in Battle Analysis and added to the archive, leave that down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.